This truck is a golden unicorn because it does not have a sunroof. Praise the Lord. I am not a fan of sunroofs. I think most of you all know by now, if you've watched my videos, that I prefer this truck or any large truck without a sunroof. I know a lot of people love them. If you live in a more mild climate, probably, right? Makes more sense. But I am not a big fan of sunroofs. I think that they are hail magnets. I think that they have likelihood of breaking and failing. One of the only issues that my previous F450 had that was mechanical was the sunroof. So it kind of proved my point to myself that I still don't want sunroofs. And believe it or not, when I found this truck, I didn't even know that it didn't have the sunroof until literally we were driving it off of the dealership lot and my wife said, hey, look, it doesn't have a sunroof. So that's a big perk to me. So we are back inside of our 2024 F450 Platinum. This is gonna be the interior review. You guys have hopefully seen the first video. You saw all the detail specs from the outside. Okay, so again, we're inside of our new 2024 F450 Platinum, and we're gonna try to go over some of the things going on in here. So first of all, your whole gauge cluster now is digital. Very similar to like the Denali that we have, and I'm sure a lot of folks with F150s and Super Duties are familiar with this, but the whole gauge cluster is now completely digital. There's no more physical or analog gauges. Huge screen, it's like a 12.5-inch display. It is absolutely insanely massive. So much to the point that I almost wonder if it's too big at this point. To be honest with you, I've actually been enjoying it. I know I've been critical of large screens, but I've actually been enjoying this screen. They give you so much information that's available by hitting this button right here. You have like 8 screens that you can toggle between over here, including a camera screen. Your navigation screen is huge. Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You have Alexa built into it. It's just really, really great. All the different things that they are now able to cram in here, plus tons and tons and tons of camera views. So there are camera views everywhere now, and you can zoom in, I believe, on different areas of the truck to see specific things going on in those areas. It's absolutely crazy what you can do in these trucks now with cameras. There's cameras all over it. You got your bed camera, which is not unique. You have front camera, rear camera, front kind of half, your hitch camera, to the sides going down, and then you can even add an auxiliary camera if you want as well, which I will likely do. But yeah, that is super cool. They're still giving you the ability to control your volume and a lot of your radio functions through knobs and buttons, as well as your climate control. You also get heated and cooled seats. You have a heated steering wheel, plus all of your normal features here. This is a 4-wheel drive truck, so we have our 4-wheel drive control right here. If you had a FX4 version of a single rear wheel truck without a dually, then you could actually pull this knob out and engage your locker. If it was an FX4, the only reason I bring that up is when you get a dually, you do not get that feature. So a lot of people believe spending the extra $300 on the FX4 package isn't really worth it if you have a dually. Trailer brake controller here. I already have my tire minder TPMS system in because you still cannot get the F450 with tire pressure monitoring. And you can also see right here you have your Pro Trailer Backup Assist. When connected, you can actually turn the knob and use it to back up a trailer. We'll do some interesting tests with that. I don't like to use that system. My wife's had it on her Expedition since 2019. I know F150's had it for quite a while as well. It's not completely new to Super Duty. I believe they've had it since 2021. But again, it's not a feature that I'm super anxious to use, but I'll probably try it out in a few scenarios just to see how well it functions. All right, what else do we have going on here? We have all of our kind of smart cruise control features right here. So this does have radar cruise control and lane keeping, which I was able to test on a pretty dang long trip from San Antonio, and it works exceptionally well. It's almost as good as self-driving. It requires you to keep your hands on the steering wheel, and it will notify you, and it will disengage the system if you don't. But yeah, it is a very, 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 very good feature. It works really well on this truck. And sometimes that can actually come in handy, especially in construction zones where you don't have much of a shoulder because of the barriers that they put there. Your volume controls, lots of good features built into this as far as what you can access from the steering wheel, but they've also moved to a lot of voice controls as well. So a lot of the functions can be controlled with your voice. You have your B&O sound system, which is a premium sound system offering as well. Over here you have all of your headlight controls as well as your fog light controls. Tailgate down. This is how you turn on your power outlets for the 2000 watt system in the back or the shared system up front with the 110 outlets. You still have your spotlights coming off of the mirrors themselves, your high center mount light. Down here you can adjust your brake pedal and gas pedal as well, so that's a feature that Ford has had on their vehicles for some time, and it is really convenient, especially if you need to push the pedals back or bring them closer to you. Your parking brake is right here as well. You have 3 memory seat functions. You can extend or retract your mirrors with the button right here. I still think Ford needs to put some type of a power bottom mirror in. That mirror right there is still manual, so you still have to adjust it manually. Ram has moved to a power bottom spot mirror, and I think that it's important that Ford should do the same. Everything here is pretty normal. I love the wood right here, and they use suede right here. It's very nice. It's the only area in the Platinum model that I've seen suede. I know Limited uses a lot more suede, but in the Platinum, this is predominantly where you're going to see it on all of the doors. You have your traditional door pockets down below. Coming around to the other side, this pocket right here is significantly larger than the outgoing model, as well as this big pocket right here. Your wireless phone chargers right there. You have a USB and USB-C. Sorry about the wiring mess. This right here plugs in my Wolfbox rear view camera mirror because this truck does not have it. I think you can get it on a 450 Limited, but I don't believe it's available on the Platinum or below. Maybe you can get it on a Platinum, I'm not sure. But my truck didn't have it, so I have the camera wired up so I can see back there. I kind of like this system better because I can also see into the bed at the same time. I'm not just looking out the back, and it's also touchscreen, which is really nice, and it's a dash cam. I feel with all the cameras in these trucks now, they should just make dash cameras standard. That little stubby antenna is also aftermarket. I put that on and I took off the big whipping antenna that comes on this truck. You have 2 glove boxes. You have one right here, and then you also have your larger glove box below. You have a 110 outlet here that I have broken off into 2 USB-C high-speed chargers. The seats are heated and cooled, like I mentioned earlier, but they are also fully massaging, and you get a lot of massage features now built in that the previous model didn't have. So when you press the center button, you can do all of these different massaging characteristics, and it's for both the driver and passenger as well. Again, no sunroof in this truck. That is a rare find, but a very happy one for me, because I did not want a sunroof, and I am so glad that I do not have a sunroof. It's just great. I don't worry about big thunderstorms coming into town anymore and dealing with that. I don't have to worry about accidentally pressing the wrong button up here when I'm going into a car wash, causing the sunroof to open. I don't have to worry about the rails drying out or cracking or breaking. It's headaches that I don't have to deal with. So very glad I don't have a sunroof in here. Here's the back seat. We have our child seat back here, so pardon that. Lots and lots of legroom. These are the old Aries floor mats that I had out of my previous truck. Mainly because I wanted to keep the floors clean until I get my new floor mats in. You still get a ton of room back there. You still have storage under both seats. None of that's really changed. The back seat area is pretty much the same. I think they may have increased the angle slightly, so it's a little bit more in a leaning position, but I couldn't really tell sitting back there, to be honest with you. Again, you have your aluminum grills covering your speakers. That's all suede right there. Back here, you're going to have your air conditioning vents, your USB, USB-C, as well as a 12-volt outlet. So talking about 12-volt outlets, if you've purchased a new GM truck, Chevy or GMC, you've probably realized that you no longer have 12-volt outlets, unless you get like the classic version, which is a weird marketing spin on a previous generation interior. But yeah, if you opt for the new truck and you have the newer, larger screen, neither Chevy or GMC give you 12-volt outlets. You get 2 of them inside of here, and you get 2 110 10 outlets in this truck versus one of them in the GMC that's in the center console. So to kind of repeat that, in case I made that sound confusing, you're going to get 2 of your 12-volt outlets inside of the truck, one here, one in the back, 2 110 outlets inside of the truck, one here and one in the back, 2 in the bed of the truck that are rated up to 2,000 watts. And that's shared. So if you use power here and you're using power back there, it all comes off of that 2,000 watt inverter. Now, that said, if you get a GM truck, and whether it's a GMC or a Chevy, you're only going to have one 110 outlet, and that's it. You'll still have USB and stuff like that. You have a few of those, but it is really, really unfortunate that they don't give you 12-volt outlets anymore, and they don't give you at least 2 110 outlets. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about technology. Technology, I think, is a big part of this truck, and if you get this truck, that's probably one of the reasons why, is because of the technology advantage over the previous models. Now, if I go to features, you can see a lot of the features built in here, including your Pro Power on board, and that is that 2,000 watt capability that you have. Generator mode, which is kind of cool, and you can see here where it goes up to 400 watts, and off of the back, it goes up to 2,000 watts. So right here, if you have it in generator mode, you have to have the engine continuously running, of course, to supply power to the outlets. Let's go back to features. You have your zone lighting, you have your record feedback, which is kind of an interesting one. So record feedback.
Dislikes or suggestions about the experiences with your vehicle, and then select send.
So yeah, you can record feedback about your truck and submit it directly to Ford. It's kind of crazy. So let's go over some of your features here. So Smart Hitch right here is the ability for you to understand if you have the weight distribution on your trailer set up properly. You can show them what type of trailer you have. It gives you conventional, which is a bumper pull, weight distribution hitch, which is an RV with a weight distribution bars, which on this one, I don't think we would ever run into a scenario where we need a weight distribution hitch, but who knows. Gooseneck and fifth wheel trailering. You have your connection checklist, which lets you go over all your connections and everything to make sure you're set up for Smart Hitch. And then your quick setup also kind of guides you through that in a quicker way. So the big one that I really like is this onboard scale. So this one gives you the ability to specifically see how much weight approximately you have inside of the bed of your truck. And that is really cool. This is going to be a great feature to check whenever we're loading up the fifth wheel, gooseneck trailers, even conventional trailers. And you can have it so if you put it on tail light, the tail light itself has a scale that will indicate how close to maximum capacity you are. And you can see on this specific truck, we have a 4,941 pound cargo capacity. That is crazy. My last truck had like 400 pounds less than that. And then for towing, you have all of your towing features. You have your connection checklist to kind of go through everything, just to make sure everything is kind of set up, and it walks you through it step by step. You can select your trailers, manage your trailers, check your trailer lights. You can put on trailer sway control. You can set up maintenance reminders. Very, very cool. And again, you can set up multiple trailers because like us, we have 9 trailers. I don't know if I can set up 9 of them, but you can definitely set up multiple trailers so you know specifically how you're using, how you're connecting and managing that for each individual trailer. So yes, a lot of technology built into this truck. They've done a great job. Some carryover features, of course, are this. I think they patented that. You can put your phones right here. It has little pass-through holes as well so the cords can come through. I just wish that if they were going to do this, they gave you like 3 USB and 3 USB-C over here, and they would all be fast charging. That would be really cool. But yeah, they come through. You can set your phone right here. Works really, really well as a phone holder. If you're going to be charging it with the cables outside of here, you can just flip it upside down, and that also works really, really well. Let's see what else we can go over. We have the glove box down here. Not a heck of a lot going on in there. Have my extra tire minder batteries, and you have a pretty deep area, and you can still hang file folders from here, which is nice. Nice platinum embroidery right here with some suede in between. Nice stitching all the way around. It's just a beautiful interior. It really is. And on the windows, not that some people will care, but it is going to be dual pieces of glass that are laminated together. A lot of people with higher end vehicles kind of expect that. You have your ability to manually shift right here through your 10 speeds. And then your engine exhaust brake feature is right here. But yeah, what do you guys think? This is a pretty dang cool truck. They have so much stuff going on in this truck. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so So next, let's move up here. You have your 6 Upfitter switches, which are already relayed as well. And that's a huge deal because that basically means that they're already providing you with enough power to turn on things that typically require more current, like an air compressor. I could put a onboard air system here, and I believe my auxiliary 6 is gonna be like a 40 amp relayed connection. That is awesome. And if you're into 12 volt connections or 12 volt electronics, you know exactly why that's important. You have your glass holders right here, and then just your dome light features. And if we did have a sunroof, all your controls would be in this area. Anyways, what do you all think about the truck? I'm super happy, to be honest with you. I missed my other truck, but when you watch the next video on driving impressions and how this truck handles and drives, you'll see why this truck is such a different truck from my previous one. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.